people think that moving abroad represents, like, especially in the US, represents like a winning battle. It's like you will 100% thrive. You will make a lot of money. You will become the person you always wanted. You will be successful in all ways possible. And then you will have, once you are back, if you are back, you will have your life or a great deal of your life completely solved. That's what most people think here in Paraguay. But the truth is that most people who live abroad don't actually have that life easier than their own countries. So the adaptation process turned into as we mentioned in the first, previously, the adaptation process turned into like a suffering process that you have to go through. That turns into something very difficult. Of course, you will grow personally, professionally, and you can actually grow economically.
Of course.
Of course, yeah, but it's not the case for, it's not like everyone's case. That's, I mean, it's actually very few ones, like very few people, a minority of people do well abroad for certain things that just happen good for them. So it's just like very up to each individual, up to each individual. But in general, I would say um, it's actually gonna be it's actually harder to live abroad, especially in a country, in a big country like such the US, with a huge capitalist model, which you can feel it till the bones. So
Competition.
yeah, competition, like, oh my goodness, like if you don't work, like if you haven't worked that extra hours the whole week, you won't be able to pay your rent at the end of the month. And if you want to like be compete with others, you will have to, like, speak better than other people, like know more than other people. You will have to go through a very, very difficult learning process. You will have to go way faster. You will have to speed up all your capabilities and not get so frustrated for not actually adapting yourself properly or effectively. So, because if you don't adapt yourself after 2-3 years, you will probably quit.
Like many people do. I mean,
like many people. So you will have to like adapt yourself as fast as you can, because there will be like you won't be able to bear with like un- things that are very uncomfortable for so long. So I recommend people to just, once you get there, don't waste any second of your time and just like put focus on your work, put focus on your language, put focus on your relationships, put focus on try to shift every life dimension as fast as you can in order to position yourself in a, I mean, to get a better position, so you can from there start like competing with others.
So it's not just enough to work harder than others. You have to have the same kind of inner, I guess, peace with your past and not really, get stuck in it. Like you have to be in the present, working hard, trying to adapting in all ways of life to be able to make it work there.
Going back to the original question, is like what I'm saying is I think many people actually, they people who haven't lived the experience yet, they might think life in the US it's actually easier when it's not. Not just because they have more infrastructure or it's a bigger country or they pay in dollars means that you're gonna be successful like from night to day, over the night. But it's not. You will have to work hard, same or even more than in your country. But I think opportunities are just around the corner there. Like there's actually lots of opportunities there that we might not have here, not in the same way. There might be some good things we have here, but there is, if you worked hard, you will actually thrive at some point. But it's not gonna be easy. Very important for people to understand that it's not impossible, but it's not gonna be easy, and it's actually way harder than they think.
Yeah, it takes its price.
Takes
to be
its
successful
price.
there.
Yeah, what's it? Yeah, like that question. What's the cost for that? You will probably get sick. You will get tired. You will get frustrated. You will cry a lot. There will be a lot of lonely nights. like never before, but you will eventually go through go through that. You will eventually pass through.
Mm.
And
How should one deal with that? I mean, from your profession, I mean, obviously you've seen
well, I
a lot of
think the
this.
best thing you can do, to be honest, because I assess, like I help people who live abroad, like Latin, most of them like Latin people
Hmm.
who are currently living in the US or Europe. And the first thing I tell them is that discipline. We have to create a routine.
Mm.
How to create a routine where we know exactly what time we are heading to the gym, we are hitting the gym, what time we are eating this, what time we are drinking this water, what time we are like focusing on our physical health. Because if you get sick for even like just a few days,
Hmm.
you don't go to work. If you don't work, you don't make that money that you really need to pay rent and pay other stuff. And if you don't make that money, you're gonna struggle a lot. You're gonna feel desperate. You're gonna feel sad. You're gonna feel like that's not your place.
Hmm.
But that could turn into your place. But you will have to be very effective in the way you perform, at least for the in the first year, in order to then get some sort of like be adapted.
Hmm.
So it will be like in every place you go, like how you say, every business you start, like every people you know, it takes some time to adapt yourself. But what I truly recommend people is like discipline. It's
Hmm.
discipline. It's and take care of your physical health,
Hmm.
especially, which will
Influence your mental
influence
health.
your mental health at the same time,
Mhm.
which will help you to overcome sadness, frustrations, and everything. So once you think like you are not having a great time, you won't just quit.
Mhm.
You will know you can do it. You know you can go through it. Like you can know you can find other options. So secondly, it will be to find support. You gotta find support. You gotta find support there,
Someone to talk to.
or you gotta find a mental health
Mhm.
professional from your country, from whatever. You have to find like human support,
Mhm.
because or people who lived the experience already, they will help you a lot. They will explain to you how to do things. They will give you a different perspective on
Mhm.
what you are living at that particular moment. So seek help, human help, not ChatGPT, but we need of that human interaction. We
Yeah.
need to feel like someone is actually listening to us and care about what we are telling them. We
Mm.
need to have that feeling. ChatGPT won't give you that feeling, never. And can explain to you the whole situation, but our brain works 80% over emotions.
Mhm.
So we got to talk to once we interact with the person we like, we are 80% interacting by our emotions. That the way we look to each other, the way we feel that person is actually listening to us. It's not about just words, like the
Yeah. It's not
interchange of,
logical
yeah,
in
it's
a
not
sense.
logical.
Yeah.
It's not the interchange of words.
Mhm.
It's not like if you don't like me, it doesn't matter how many beautiful poems I'm telling you and reading to you. It's about how you feel around that person. So that's why human support is crucial
Mhm.
in that moment. Discipline is the other very crucial thing. And thirdly, I would say you will always have to um, remain resilient and resistant.
Mhm.
Once, because you will face moments and times where nothing works good for you or things are not working for you. um, if you quit at that moment, like nothing will make sense, or you will learn that quitting is the best option always. You got to go through that like 3 attempts theory. I apply that pretty much. Like I always say, like from the moment I feel I wanted to quit, I'm gonna try 3 more times
Mhm.
differently, from different like angles,
Mhm.
to make sure I'm to make sure there's no way I can get this, or to make sure I did my best. I don't want to quit without making sure I gave everything. I don't want to feel frustrated then. I don't want to feel like, with some sort of hard feelings against myself. I don't want to feel like I could have done more for me. I want to make sure I did everything. So once it didn't work, I would say I did my best. this is what I could get.
And then you have no regret.
There's no regret in that. So after that, that's what I applied that rule for like surviving my time there. And I'm just talking about the hardest moment. I'm talking about the hardest time. Of course, as I mentioned before, I had incredible, amazing times. I met amazing people. Like it's actually, I consider the US my second home. But I just wanted to focus on the very difficult moment of life. And I think that's gonna help a lot of people who might be listening to this part of the interview, which is like stay disciplined, find support, stick around people you like, and remain resilient and resistant when things gets worse and worse, and you just want to quit. Just wait 3 times, wait 3 attempts, wait 3 different ways of trying to fight back. Wait a little bit until to see what's next. Sometimes after those 2 attempts or the third one, you get what it takes to get rid or get out of that problem and to find another path.
We will get through. We will get through.
We'll get through. Yeah.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the clip. The full length of the episode is available right here. So go on, check it out.